Let's talk about optical density of QDs. So here you see a schematic of different QD technologies. We have indium phosphide core shell QDs, cadmium selenide QDs in the middle, and on the right-hand side, the perovskite QDs, which are cubes. In summary, perovskite QDs, they absorb around 10 times more per QD weight or QD volume than indium phosphide QDs. And the reason is simply because the perovskite QDs, they don't have a non-absorbing shell. So basically the whole mass of the perovskites can absorb light, whereas for indium phosphide QDs, it's not possible. In other words, that means that for perovskite QDs, you need around 10 times less QDs than indium phosphide QDs for the same optical density. Or it means you can go thinner in the QD layer thickness at the same optical density. Packing QDs densely. So what we did here is we deposited a layer of perovskite QDs and without using a resin. So the QDs are not embedded in an additional resin. So in this layer, we have the QDs and a special ligand on the surface. So that's, I would say, as highly packed as possible. And the question is here, of course, what about efficiency, quantum yield quenching, and so on? So we measured the quantum efficiency of these dry films, and we still have 97% quantum efficiency.
Hello, Norman. I'm just reminding you, you have 5 more minutes, okay?
That's fine. Thank you. So we have 97% quantum efficiency. This shows that in these layers, we basically have no or not a lot of reabsorption losses and also no QD proximity quenching. Here on the right-hand side, we measured the optical density of such layers in dependence of layer thickness. And what you see is we can achieve an optical density of 2 at a layer thickness of 3 micron. That's quite a high value. And and we achieved this even without scattering particles. So that really shows that the perovskites, they absorb really a lot of blue light.